In this video, I'm going to be sharing some of my favourite fitness, muscle building and training books. If you read each of these, you'll come away with a far more comprehensive knowledge when it comes to your training as compared with 99% of people who work out regularly. These are my top fitness books and I believe they represent all you need for a badass fitness knowledge. The Fitness Instructor's Handbook by Mark Coulson. I'm currently studying for a Level 3 Fitness Instructor's Diploma, and so I had to go back to basics and pick up this book. It's endorsed by reps, meaning that it follows the syllabus that UK trainers need to know. Some of the information in here is a bit basic and some parts are even outdated, but as a comprehensive introduction to the basics of anatomy, program writing, hypertrophy, fitness, it's a great place to start. I imagine that the US equivalents would likewise be as helpful. Regardless of whether you're planning on doing a training course, a book like this is a good one to start with, and it's an ideal foundation to then build off of with the other books on this list. Overcoming Gravity by Stephen Lowe. This is the guide to calisthenics and bodyweight training, bar none. It goes extremely in depth and is absolutely massive. It will help you to progress, to avoid injury, and to train in a way that's smarter and anatomically sound. If you want to get the planche or if you want to get handstand presses, this book will help you get there. I will say though that some background in fitness and some foundational knowledge will help you out here, as it's not the most welcoming for beginners. And there are very few pictures and it's massive, which is all awesome, but it can be a bit intimidating when you first thump it onto the table. These moves are complex and challenging, and they force you to utilize all the concepts and understanding you have about fitness. I actually think that in learning about planche alone, you can gain a far greater appreciation of your body and strength as a whole. This book will help you with that. Peak, the new science of athletic performance that is revolutionizing sports by Dr. Mark Bubbs. Peak is a book I took a random chance on after loving the cover and the title. I was not disappointed. This is a true hidden gem. Peak is a book that looks at the role of nutrition, sleep, mood, immunity, focus, and more on performance. It's about optimizing the athlete's health in order to help them gain the very most out of their bodies. The book is incredibly in-depth, drawing on tons of research and providing a lot of actionable content that I haven't seen anywhere else. Some of it is really surprising, such as the argument that GI might not actually be a useful metric when choosing carbs. It's a little bit dense and it can be hard to follow at times, but if you put in the work, it's more than worth it. The World's Fittest Book by Ross Edgley. Ross Edgley is like a far more awesome version of what I aspire to be. He's a fitness author turned adventurer who, after writing this book, went on to swim around the UK. He also has a completely unique and scattershot approach to training, which he demonstrates in this book, covering topics ranging from work capacity to Wim Hof. But it's a great broad introduction that's beautifully presented and highly motivating. I'd recommend this book to anyone who wants to expand their fitness horizons, and his arms are ridiculously huge, damn him. The best stuff is the stuff that discusses pushing past your limits, explaining how you just need to ignore your body's protestations that you need to stop. I love where he explores the interplay between health and psychology, and I think this is actually going to be the focus of his next book, if I'm not mistaken. Bruce Lee, The Art of Expressing the Human Body by Bruce Lee. So this book is ostensibly a guide to Bruce Lee's fitness regime, as described by his own notes and the conclusions drawn by editor John Little. While I think that the occasional liberty may be taken here, where premature conclusions about Bruce's training are drawn from little evidence, there is also undoubtedly a lot of great stuff to be found. What this really highlights is just how experimental Bruce was with his training, and the way he incorporated concepts from bodybuilding, old-time strongman training, and martial arts into his routine was really interesting. This book is what first introduced me to the notion of overcoming isometrics and inspired my most successful video on this channel, now with 2.7 million views. The New Encyclopedia of Modern Bodybuilding by Arnold Schwarzenegger. One of my first books on training and one of the most influential for sure. This is Arnie's gigantic introduction to bodybuilding, which can help pretty much any newcomer to the gym to build massive size. Of course, many of the strategies included in here are now labelled as bro-science-y by some, but the truth is that they work, and particularly if your primary goal is mass. This is the training method used by the golden era bodybuilders, and it remains a fun and effective way to work out. And the book is gigantic, it's just a really good general introduction to building muscle and how that works. You've got all the exercises listed, lots of photos of bodybuilders, it's very inspiring. I've spoken at length about the value of this form of training, even in a functional routine, and it certainly deserves a place in your collection. The best stuff? That would definitely be the introduction to Joe Rader's intensity principles, which remain among the best ways to gain mass and experience that feeling of pump that Arnie raves about. This is also just one of the best ways to develop your mind-muscle connection, by the way. So there you go, those are my top fitness and training books. What do you think? Have you read any of these? What are your favourites that I missed? I love getting your recommendations. Of course, many of you know that I also have a book of my own in the works. It's called Super Functional Training, and it's designed to be a training program not just for building muscle, but also improving performance, focus, reflexes, mobility, agility, longevity and more. It draws on the latest science, but also underground training methods, historical warrior cultures, martial arts, and lots more. It's a book, but also a full program with a comprehensive diet plan and much more, and you can pre-order it right now in the link in the description down below, so go and check that out for more details if you're interested. Either way, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you found it useful and interesting, and stay tuned for much more like it. I've got a lot of exciting stuff on the way. Thanks a ton, and bye for now.